This city was once the jewel of our kingdom, a place of light and beauty and music, and so it shall be once more!
Do you have a memory or what was special about the Two Towers for you when you saw it? Is there anything?
Yeah. So as you know, I'm in recovery, but before I went down the dark path, solo cam, sad music. Before I went down the dark path, like I had a small group of buddies that like, we were dorks, man. We played tabletop. We read fantasy books, comic books. We got like really close and we went to see it like midnight showing, first night. And I think this one came out around Christmas. I think they all did. And it was snowing and just packed theater and everyone there was like dedicated. I think it's one of the best trilogies ever. For me, it's better than Star Wars. I love what Peter Jackson did. I think it was hard for anyone to take what, was written in the book and put it pretty faithfully. I mean, he did leave out some major things, but he did as the best job he could do. You take like his work and then look at what Amazon did. Like he respected what the author wrote and realized he wasn't smarter than the person that wrote it. And just the cinematography, the way it was filmed, that like rich but dark color. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah.
Thanks, Scott. That's a good answer. So you were a dork.
Oh yeah.
Too, huh?
Well, I was a closet dork. Like I was captain of my sports teams and stuff, but like down deep, the freak flag needed to fly, so I always was a dork. Yeah.
So you let it fly. Okay. So then the other one we got to ask is, do you have a favorite scene?
Twin Towers. I think, oh man, am I confusing the end and the beginning of the other one? When Sam's coming up the stairs to save Frodo, is that in this one or I sometimes mix them.
That's in Return of the King.
Damn it, because that's a great scene. You know what?
On the
let
spot,
me think
Scott.
about that. Yeah, let me think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
I mean, I have oh shit. I have the classic, one that I just broke.
Have you met AJ, Roman of the Empire, Stephen Ransom, Chew-All of Dragons?
Sure. AJ, I feel like I know. Like I've seen you in the chats. Yeah, guys, what's up? I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
It is a pleasure to meet you guys. AJ, I know who you are. Like I've seen you in chats. I've watched some of your streams and stuff. Some kid phallic somebody. He's all right.
I can't put my finger on him.
Yeah, me either. But yeah, it's a pleasure. It's really nice to meet you guys. Wow, you're really putting me on the spot with everything.
I'm familiar with everybody here.
Yeah. You know what it is?
No,
go ahead, please. It's your show.
No, Scott. I was going to say that just because you're a YouTuber, I thought I could just throw you on the spot. You'd be fine.
Yeah, no,
that's me giving you credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the center, surrounded by men.
I know. That's the story of my life. Like the thing about Twin Towers is they did a great job. Like what a lot of trilogies keep forgetting is that middle one should be dark. It should be like there's no hope. It should be that, Yeah,
it's Empire Strikes Back for the trilogy.
Absolutely. It's the hero's journey, and it's the middle where he doesn't know if he can go on. I love the whole. I mean, think about like how long ago this was, and Gollum, and just how it stands up still today. Andy Serkis, just his acting, and is amazing. And then what they did to put that on screen, you don't see it as a CGI character. That's Gollum. So I really enjoy that in this because seeing Gollum come to life, okay, hold on. I am a dork. Like I have the old Hobbit. I have like all these old ones, so like to see Gollum on the big screen though, and almost like I imagined him, pretty much, it was pretty cool. It was
But
definitely
what a risk that they just put confidence in the CG to be convincing enough for the audience to buy it. Because if you don't, every scene either doesn't age well or it pulls you out.
right.
You know?
Perfect way of putting it, man.
Scott,
a
you
risk.
brought up the cinematography and how it was still cinematic yet dark.
Yeah.
And that's something that other franchises have tried to do and done badly. Game of Thrones being, I think, probably the biggest and easiest example of screwing away what could have been an epic battle scene, but no one could see it.
Right. You know, like it was dark, but it was rich. You know, like you never felt like you couldn't see what was going on. And it always, I don't know how to explain what else I mean by dark. It was like, it had like a, like you could see the different shades of gray and black. It was just beautifully filmed. And I don't know what, it's almost like, you know, like Saving Private Ryan had that feel. It's almost like an older, but yet up to date filming. I don't know how to explain it.
Like almost like a tintype kind of thing over the film. So it was old from like the 20s or something.
Yeah. But yeah, not as much as Saving Private Ryan, but that was a perfect way of putting it.
Right.
But yeah, it had that feel to it.
A lot of filmed at night too, and with the rain, and it was they looked miserable, which they should have been.
Yeah.
A lot of the shots, I think, was like, if you've like ever lived in England or New England or a place like that, where the sun is out, but the clouds are out. So it's like a grayish light. So you can see everything perfectly clear, but it's just a different tint.
Yes. Yeah. I'm from New England, so I get exactly what you're saying. Exactly what you're saying.
Well, I also love like the Osgiliath scenes we see too, because it reminds you of like Berlin, like, and I got a shot right here. It reminds you like of the war-torn Berlin too, and I love these shots here within it. That we get a couple shots here, then we also get some in Return of the King. I don't know why, I just love this ruined city.
And what I liked about those scenes is you realize you are looking at a different time period in the movie itself, because you're looking into the past when Gondor is having, the big attack, and Boromir hasn't died or become a douche yet. Yeah. So it gives you a sense of time displacement within the film. That's just visually.
Yeah. And Helm's Deep, I mean, that was awesome. Helm's Deep is gorgeous. I forgot about this. You put it perfectly. It does look like a war-torn Europe.
It does look Berlin.
What was this mythology based on? You know, he wanted a mythology for England. Yeah. So that's really good way of putting it.
Bombed-out London, actually. Yeah, I could see that too. I know that's not what it was supposed to be, but that would actually totally fit. It looks like, because the damage is done from the top down too.
Yeah, this is very World War I Western Front.
Yeah. The orcs too, man. The different they all had their own look to them. You know, you had the Orokai and the orcs. I'm telling you, Peter Jackson did something that I took for granted, back then. It's like, where is that dedication today? Where is the dedication to making this come to life and not trying to put your stamp on it, but tell the story the way it was meant to be?
Chat loves you, Scott, by the way.
I love the chat, man. I love Miss Flu. Happy birthday. Tickle Trunk, you sexy bastard.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Flu. She's going to be joining us later on. So
nice. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Sporkin, that idea right there where you said you feel like you took that for granted. Somebody respecting the source material, something loving a franchise and adapting it and doing it justice. And I think that's why, what am I trying to say? I don't think we took it for granted, although it's not here now. And that's something that the mainstream should be doing, which is one of the questions that you guys asked Phoenix about. What's something that the mainstream can learn? It's something as simple as that. And I feel like, as well as the CGI, we see this movie, although I'm not a fan of it, I understand what it means for a lot of people and for entertainment and for adapting fantasy. So I don't think we took it for granted. You just don't see anybody doing it. And because this movie has been done so long ago, this is why I can't get into something like Avatar with the Way of Water movie. It's like I've seen epicness from movies. I've seen great technical, achievements already. Now I need damn near perfection. We've had enough people to make A's and B's on these scores for movies. So it's like, okay, now take that shit and expand upon it. Now give me the next best thing. And I think another reason I didn't get into like the Lord of the Rings or this right here is because although I was saying like this seems like a Dungeons and Dragons. If you ever heard anybody talking about nerds, they'd be like, "Ooh, Dungeons and Dragons!" Like you like dwarves and elves and all that type of stuff. But because y'all was asking about other fantasy stuff, and I was thinking like, okay, well, Narnia is something that I was into, but also a JRPG. So you have fantasy with that. There's more fantasy than just the elves, the dwarves, the dragons, the trolls, orcs, stuff like that. So I think that's why I wasn't so into it, because I've seen, which is crazy, like the East, they will give you what you want, but something different. I had seen the fantasy somewhere else already and had been so drawn or attached to that this just looked like not bland, but it wasn't over the top for me, like seeing a pointed ear person in like Final Fantasy or some big golem type, deities and all that type of stuff. I think that's what I was used to.
Yeah.
And just like with Star Wars, I don't like the movies. They're fine, but I think the games, the comics, the books, all of that is way more immersive. All of that is a better view of that world than what I see from the movies.
Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying there, though. Like, I do appreciate over the top fantasy, but like I'm also a big fan of almost like a realistic fantasy. Like George R. R. Martin. I mean, the first book, Game of Thrones, they call it a fantasy book, but it's the prologue and the last chapter pretty much are the only fantasy in the book. And yet it's considered high fantasy. But truthfully, there's no elves, there's no dwarfs, it's humans. There is one group of humans a little bit above the others. There are people that have the ability to warg, but they don't know that yet. There's these fantastical creatures from the north, but we only see them for a split second in the first prologue. So like, I sometimes enjoy that because it's, to me, it's the heart and conflict. It's the story. Because if you don't have that, you could throw anything at me. I think that's what happened after, when CGI got big, when, even, George Lucas was the first one to do it, like CGI, like overload. They put so much into the CGI, they forgot about the story. And now what we get is kids who grew up on that and also have their own agenda. And that's what's really ruining modern movies today. But whatever happened to the actual, like, the heart of the story, I want to go back to practical. Give me like new advances in practical special effects, and I'll be sitting right there watching it.